It's game day, kind of game day. It's test your numbers day because coronavirus ruined all meets in 2020 day. That's what day it is. Testing numbers, yay! So today we are testing my numbers. Haven't done heavies, singles since February. February is my last meet. I competed before everything got shut down. It wasn't a bad meet. It wasn't a great meet. I had some injuries. Ooh, excuse me. I had some injuries leading into that meet that I had kind of gotten in 2019, and they bled into 2020. So I don't think I was at my 100% capacity. I had shoulder injury still plaguing me. I actually had an AC joint separation at one point in 2019, and it took a long time to heal. So it's finally feeling mostly better. As long as I don't do my competition wide grip bench all the time, it doesn't bother me as much. But if I wide grip bench all the time, then we have some struggles. And then I also had a hip injury at the time, and I think that's part of the reason my squat stance got so narrow. So leading into that meet, I had been squatting at one stance, and about 3 weeks out, I had changed to a more narrow stance because my hip was hurting. So I really think that affected me as well. So I had some good numbers, some solid numbers at meet, but I know it wasn't a good representation of the work I had put in leading up to that and how strong I was. So today will be a better test, I think, because I'm not feeling as run down or have these lagging injuries. I mean, we're all kind of injured all the time, powerlifters, but it's not bad. There's bad and there's bad. It's not bad. So don't know if I'm gonna hit any PRs today. I might on bench and deadlift. If you follow me for a while, squats and I are not friends. So if I can just match my best number, that will actually be really exciting for me. I want to test my numbers again or possibly compete, depending on what's going on in the world, in November or maybe December, maybe January. I'm open to all those. Gotta look at the calendar. But that is when I expect to hopefully see a squat PR. David, my husband, my coach, my sexy lover, he has really dialed in my programming because we've trained together for so long. He's really the best coach for me because we communicate, and I feel like when I coach with other people, I don't communicate as well with them about how I'm feeling, what's going on. So he's there, he's in it, he sees me, so he really has a good idea of what I need to do. And so we have a solid plan moving forward, and I fully expect to hopefully get a squat PR the next time I test my numbers. Maybe even 300. Who knows? I might squat 300 one day, and then I can retire from powerlifting. Also, on these videos, we're going to be following David. He too is supposed to compete in November. It might just be a test my numbers at the gym thing like I'm doing, because who knows if it's going to be over. So he's going to go through with it. He's doing the Juggernaut AI programming, powerlifting programming. And so it's been really interesting seeing what they program for him. So he will kind of go through what he's doing as well. And so we'll just kind of have these joint videos. And it'll be great. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I have a hard time eating whenever I'm testing my numbers. So this morning I'm going to try and eat a bagel and cream cheese. Because I got to eat, even though I don't want to eat. It's important. Gotta eat. Are you ready?
I guess. But your face is not in
I don't need my face in it. This is about you, sir. So, David, tell us when you're supposed to compete.
it. November 8th.
At the...
Oh. North American Championships in Costa Mesa.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So, what have you been doing for your training?
Well, it's been a crap ton of hypertrophy. A lot of sets of 10s and 8s and 6s. The volume, which is considered the set sets and reps. The sets have gone up considerably every week, to the point to where there have been at the end of weekdays where I will do 5 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 10 on squats, and then 6 sets of 8 on deadlifts and stuff like that. Yeah, that's so far.
How does it feel? Do you think that you're gaining progress?
Yes, I do think I'm gaining a lot of progress. One of the biggest things that you have to remind yourself during hypertrophy is that you aren't building strength per se, you are building the potential for strength. So when people are worried about how heavy they're going, they need to remember that that doesn't matter. She's drinking a Monster. She can't interview me while she's doing that. Okay.
How many weeks out are you then?
Today is 15 weeks out.
Do you know what numbers you want to hit at your meet yet?
I do not know what numbers I want to hit, only because that is impossible to know. Most people would like to think that they can figure it out, but it's very difficult to know so far out. And even when you are that close, anything can happen. So I'd rather take it day by day.
How was training at the crooked barbell?
The cricket barbell, it's been great. We already trained there before they opened up everything again, so it wasn't bad at all. It actually felt great. It felt like I was challenging myself again.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add about your training?
After these next 2 weeks, I get to go to fast.
Woohoo. So strength block.
Yep. Strength block, finally. Now that's where I will be able to build strength and figure out a little better where I'm going to be for the numbers that I eventually want to hit.
You can hit the stuff. So, here we are. It's like 2.5 weeks later from this? 2.5 weeks later. So, this is my opening attempt. I opened at 264-ish. It's kilos. I don't know the kilos. But I opened at 264-ish. It went fine. And then I jumped to 281. My best squat is 286. So I figured I'd either hit that or maybe go above. So here's 281. It was kind of a grinder. What do you think?
Yeah, it was definitely a grinder, but you got it anyways. You just did what you weren't supposed to do and shoot your knees back.
Yeah, so I decided YOLO. At a actual meet, I am very protective of my total. And so I'm more worried about total than an individual lift PR. But since we were just testing meets, the numbers in a mock meet instead of an actual meet, I decided I would just go for it. And I went for 292.1, which would be a PR. I have attempted 290 once before. I think it was like a year ago, maybe. I tested 290 and I failed it. 281 was really, really hard, so I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but I figured I would just fight for it and see what happened.
And you almost got it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert. David's new to this.
I am new to this.
New to this YouTube-y thing. So I don't get it. I come out of the hole pretty good here, but my hips shoot back real far, and I just cannot recover from that. So another day, another time. Oh, bench. Bench is my favorite. So this is 170. However, I have this habit of being able to bench way more at the gym than I can in a meet. So I attempted 170, and so I wanted to go to 181, which would have been a PR. I've hit 180 in the gym quite a few times now. So I was hoping that I would really be able to squeak this one out. So So I just jumped to 181 and thinking if I get to 181, which I felt pretty confident could happen, then I would go ahead and maybe jump to the 187, which would be a really big PR for me. I was willing to get a 1 pound PR, that 1.9 pounds, and take what you can get on bench. So I set up for it, felt really good. When David handed it off, and as I was going down, it always feels better when it's going down, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have to try and push it up, and that's where struggles can ensue. So here we are. Oh look, it's good. Oh no, it's not good. It's not good. No. So I attempted that number twice. I couldn't get it either way. It sucked. Any thoughts, David?
Nope. Most of the thoughts that I have, I think
you're saying all your thoughts right there in the video.
To the end of the video.
Hopefully this sounds okay. Okay, so probably wondering, where's the deadlifts? Well, as you can tell, the day was kind of going south, and then I went to deadlifts and things really fell to pieces. Yep. I was warming up, and I anticipated my last warm up to be 300, and I wanted my first 300-ish. I wanted my first attempt to be 314, because 2 weeks prior I had been pulling 335 for singles, and it felt really good, so I thought 314 was a good opener. So I go to pull 300 and I can barely get it, and so I was like, well, just gotta make this happen. I'm pretty good at grinding out deadlifts. Went to pull 314 and I tried twice and I just couldn't get it. Mm-hmm. So things fell to pieces on game day. Mm-hmm. It's really weird because my prep had been really good going into that. My peak program had been really good, and I was feeling great about my deadlift specifically, and I was really feeling good about bench. And this isn't the first time that this happened. This is now 2 or 3 meets in a row where my peak, just things are good in my peak, and then on meet day it kind of falls apart. And I think it's a couple of things. I think the last 2 specifically, that because I can remember those the best, I stopped lifting too far out. I'm still lifting, but I'm not lifting very heavy. Last time it was because I had a shoulder injury, and then this time we were just testing to see if I did my deadlift 14 days out, was it? Mm-hmm. My heaviest deadlift was 14 days out. Normally it's 10. My heaviest squat was 10 days out, and it's usually 7. And my heaviest bench is usually 5 days out, and this time it was 7 days out. So I think that made a big difference as well. So I don't think we're going to do that again. And are we going to try a 3-week peak? Is that a thing we're thinking about?
That is a thing we're thinking about, only because you'd be, well, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say we are thinking about it, maybe. Only because what we want to do is get you as close as possible to the meet, so your strength doesn't drop off really low. So yeah, we're gonna try to bench as close as possible, like that 5, 7, and 9 days out, probably 9 for deadlift, 7 for squat, and 5 for bench. And then even after that, your deload is going to be maybe 80% to 70%.
Maybe to my openers or something.
Yeah, because we don't want to drop off too much. Because for some reason, your body does not want to hold on to strength for very long.
Yes.
So we know that now. So we're going to change and make it better so she can lift all of the weights.
So, like I said, it's been 2.5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And since then, I have injured myself. It's an injury that I've had before. Long story short, I'm not going with our original plan. I'm taking about 5 weeks to do, I like to call it like a bodybuilding strongman split. Kind of.
I would call it a Fitspo strongman.
Fitspo strongman. That's what we're going with. I'm not going to be doing any traditional barbell movements, except for with bench. Bench is the only thing that I'm still going to be using a barbell. And I'm going to be focusing on hypertrophy. Mm-hmm. and getting a CT scan on my abdomen to see what's going on. And then going from there, hopefully I'll be able to heal up and it won't happen again. It's happened 3 times this year where I have a muscle flare up. So it's painful, it sucks, and I don't want it to happen again. Hopefully we will remedy that with the plan that we have.
Yeah.
Where are you at, David? What have you been doing?
I have been into my strength block. Everything's been going really well. Yeah, 5s and 4s. 5s for squats and bench, and 4s for deadlifts. The programming is a little different than what I'm used to, which is great actually, because it's still giving me a lot of results.
How is it different? What's the main thing that's different?
Well, the sets are starting very high for strength block that I'm used to, and I'm deadlifting, I'm deadlifting once a week. I'm squatting more than once a week, which I'm not used to either.
And you said something about like you deadlift 1 week and then you don't deadlift the next week, right?
Thank you for reminding me about that. Also, during this strength block, my squat and my bench press are going up as in linear periodization, but my deadlift is using an alternating periodization, I guess you could call it, where I will lift a heavy deadlift every 2 weeks, which is very different from what I'm used to. But because of the level of deadlift I have, I guess that's what's
It's very
supposed to
conjugate-y.
happen.
That's what we did in conjugate. We'd only max, so like 1 week I did heavy squat, and then next week it was heavy deadlift, but you didn't do them in the same week.
Right. The only difference is I'm not using chains or bands. I'm using my actual competition lift.
Yeah, yeah. We wouldn't use chains or bands on the max usually.
No.
Sometimes.
I wouldn't. But yeah. What else?
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. We'll probably do some training footage, I guess, this week, and we'll be back next week to talk about stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Okay,
And
bye.
liftings.
Bye, 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 bye.